Hi, I'm Jeremy Nulik, editor of St. Louis Small Business Monthly, and I have the pleasure today of being joined by Bob Sommers. Bob came here all the way from Hawaii. In fact, he's the president of the
Internet Marketing
Association in Hawaii.
Yeah.
He's also the owner and president of Essential Marketing Systems.
Right.
And Bob came here today to present, gave a really great seminar. Bob, thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Jeremy. Thank you. Yeah.
Sure. Tell us a little bit about some of your presentation and some of the work you're doing around internet reputation. You know, a lot of these small business owners, they might be more old school in their thinking, like, why do I care about internet reputation? Why is it important? Tell me about why it is.
You know, what's interesting is most business owners don't even think about it. Mm-hmm. Most business owners don't even have a clue that they have a reputation on the internet. And what's kind of sad is that virtually all of them do. We all have a reputation on the internet because somewhere, somehow, somebody's either written about our business or they've written about us. Now, what's kind of interesting is that when we're looking for a service, we'll look up a restaurant and we'll read reviews, or we'll look up a barbershop and read the reviews, but we never look up our own business, where other people do.
Sure.
And we're actually either getting business or losing business based on the reviews that are showing up on Google, Yahoo, Bing, Merchant Circle, Yelp, Insider Pages. There's dozens of sites all over the internet where people go. And you have a reputation, like it or not. It's important.
Right, so it's already out there. People are already talking about it, whether you address it or not. It's already something that actively is being shaped.
Absolutely. And I read yours recently. You need to look at it.
Yeah,
I'm teasing.
Right. But yeah, maybe that's exactly the reputation I was going for, unfortunately. But,
that could be.
But when it does come to shaping it, what is it that business owners can do about that? I mean, you know, if people are out there talking about my business, if they're out there saying some negative things about what I do,
and they are.
Oh, sure they are. There's some people that might be upset with services I perform. So, what is it I can do about internet reputation? How can I shape it?
Here's what we know. We know there's two kind of people that are going to write about the products and services you offer. They are the people that are extremely happy. So count on something that your mom's written for you.
Right.
And there are people that are extremely upset. And oftentimes the most upset people, when you approach them and try to solve their problem, they want no part of it, they want to vent, and they do it on the internet. One of the very best ways to build your reputation on the internet is, first of all, is to be of good character. Because when you have a great character, your reputation follows it.
Sure.
Provide great service, that's what you're going to see on the internet. But for the majority of people that just don't know any better, the first thing you can do is ask every one of your happy customers to review you on the internet. And there's hundreds of sites they can review you on. Almost every site allows for a customer to say something about your business. Yellow Pages, YP.com, Yelp, Google, Yahoo. The most important one at this juncture is going to be Google, where 65% of all searches are done. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. The second thing you can do is, if you get a poor review, and almost everybody has one, and I won't say it's a bad review, but it's less than stellar, there's three things you can do. You can acquire many good reviews, which will move that mediocre review to the second or third page. You can use what's called a management response and respond to the review. But what's important is when you respond to the review, so many people do it, they're angry, and they write the response to the person who wrote the review.
Right.
They're never going to see it. So you need to write the response to the hundreds or thousands of people that are going to read your response to what that person said.
Sure.
And the third thing you can do, and this is the one that a lot of people just don't think about, is you can literally go to the person who wrote the review, make things right, and ask them either to remove the review or to rewrite it. And virtually everybody is happy to do that. But you know, the key is just be aware. Look up your own business, see what other people are seeing, and manage what's there.
And so you're saying that the types of sites that this is on are Google, Yahoo has reviews,
right.
Yelp. Are there others that are like the biggest, or are those kind of the big 800-pound gorillas?
Well,
is that the...
each industry, and it's a great question, each industry has its own 800-pound gorilla. For example, in the restaurant industry, Yelp is huge. If you're in the Southeast, Kudzu.com is huge. If you are in the travel business, TripAdvisor is everything. I mean, it's much more important than Google is if you're in that industry. But I would say in about 90% of all industries, Google is the 800-pound gorilla. Mm-hmm. You know,
so you can usually be safe by at least starting there. If you're going to try to go through the practice of taking a look at your reputation, possibly either responding to things or
Right.
other things like that, then Google would be a good place to start.
A great place to start.
Sure.
And if you type in your business name, you're going to find multiple sites. Google will come up, Yahoo, Bing, all of the sites where someone has mentioned your business, they'll show up. And you need to manage them. You need to go to each of those sites, optimize each site, say this is my business name, address, and phone number, this is what I do, because all of these sites are guessing at what you do. You're listed in many, many more places than you think, and most of the information is wrong unless you go in there and make it right. And then just, you can go to Google Alerts, and anytime your business is mentioned, Google will say, hey, your name, your business, just right.
Yeah.
And then you can go and see what people have actually said about you.
Are there mistakes that you see business owners make when it comes to managing their reputation? What do you think the top mistakes are that you see when they try to handle their internet reputation?
Did I write you a list of questions? Because these are the perfect questions. The biggest mistake, and people think they can do this and it's okay, is they write their own reviews.
Sure.
And
I can't go on Jeremy Nulik Industries and write Jeremy Nulik's such a great guy over and over again without it being apparent that
I've already read that. You need to eliminate that, Jeremy.
Okay.
What happens is, and as a matter of fact, there was research done, and I'm trying to think of the university, Cornell maybe, that did it, where they actually have a logarithm where they can go in with 90% accuracy and determine if the business owner wrote the review. Now, you have to know if that logarithm exists. Google, Yahoo, all of these places are going to pick up on it. And you've got to imagine if they think you're writing your own reviews, they're going to hammer you. Sure. They're going to remove you from their listing. So my first piece of advice is do not write your own review, because no matter how tricky you think you are, people can tell. That's the first thing. The second thing is ask all of your happy customers, all of them, to go to these sites and review your business. But again, and one of the other mistakes is we don't do that. We don't think it's important enough to do that. And here's the third mistake. The third mistake is we have customers come to our facility and we'll have them write their review about our business on our computer because it's convenient. Don't do that. Because Google's and all of the sites they see all of these reviews coming from one IP address. So those are the three no-nos. Don't do those three things.
And I think something you mentioned earlier about emotionally responding to reviews, if somebody, especially if it's more of on the level of a personal sounding kind of a thing, you're saying don't engage in that in terms of an emotional response to those. Earlier I think you referenced don't engage with somebody to try to argue in a...
You can imagine the first thing that happens when you read a bad review is you're angry, you're disappointed, you're upset, and you're trying to figure out who would write that, So you immediately want to respond to that person with that anger. I encourage you to write that out, but not on the site.
More for yourself.
It's for yourself, and then throw it away.
Sure.
And then realize you're not writing to that person, you're writing to the other people that are going to read your response. Because you can see the emotion, you can easily interpret a person's character when you read how they respond to a bad review.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily a bad idea to have a bad review on your site, because your character comes through in the way you respond. Because what happens is, if I've never used your service and I see a bad review, I can see myself maybe being angry and writing a review if you disappoint me. What I'm really looking for is, did you respond in such a way that, wow, this justifies why I'm not going to use you? Or did you respond in such a way that I'm going to look at this and go, I would be an idiot if I don't work with these guys. They really care.
Right.
So
how can people get in touch with you? How can they get to know more about some of your tips and things like that, Bob?
Well, thank you. There's two sites we have, Jeremy. One is Viz on the Net. It's VIS, and you can also get there with VIZ, vizonthenet.com. And it's a blog, and I write every couple of days about all kinds of ways to build your reputation positively on the internet. Little tricks and tips and things most people don't think of. I can tell you it is critically important in every industry, and it gets more and more important every day. The second thing is a product we've been working on for the last 6 months, and you'll be able to find it on bestlocalreviews.com.
Okay.
And this is an amazing service that answers all of these needs that people have. What it does is it's a service that allows you to gather the review long before somebody puts it up on Yelp. You can actually cull through the good reviews and the bad ones yourself. You can encourage all the good ones to go to the internet, and you can deal with all the bad ones first and then ask the customer to re-review you. And if you do your job, they're always, they turn out to be your very best reviews.
Sure.
I had a problem, but oh my God, did they handle it.
They fixed it, sure.
They fixed it. And then you can encourage those reviews to go to the internet. And that's a service that, again, we've been working on the software for 6 months. It'll be available soon. By the time this video is out, it'll be available. And that's on bestlocalreviews.com.
Excellent.
So thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for coming out.
Jeremy, thank you. It's always fun talking to you.
Hope you enjoy the
you.
expo.